Hello, bonjour, and welcome to DITC Social Live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and blasterradio.com, darlings. I am so glad to have you here joining me this evening. Tonight we'll be discussing some hot topics, keeping them light and fluffy as usual, and taking some of your questions. So feel free to comment on whatever platform that you are on, and we will bring you into the conversation. Ce soir, nous discuterons de certains sujets, mais en les gardant légers et amusants, et en répondant à certaines de vos questions. Alors n'hésitez pas de faire part avec vos commentaires, que ce soit sur la plateforme sur laquelle que vous vous trouvez, et nous vous ferons participer à la conversation. Excuse me. Before I get going, I would like to pay respect to the Algonquin people, who are the traditional guardians of this land. We acknowledge their long-standing relationship with this territory, which remains unceded. We pay respect to all Indigenous peoples from this region, from all nations across Canada who call Ottawa home. We acknowledge the traditional knowledge keepers, both young and old, and we honor their courageous leaders past, present, and future. Nous rendons hommage au peuple algonquin, gardien traditionnel de cette terre. Nous reconnaissons le lien sacré de longue date, l'unissant à ce territoire qui demeure non cédé. Nous rendons également hommage à tous les peuples autochtones qui habitent à Ottawa, qui que ce soit de la région ou d'ailleurs au Canada. Nous reconnaissons les gardiens des savoirs traditionnels, jeunes et âgés. Et nous honorons aussi leurs courageux dirigeants d'hier, d'aujourd'hui et de demain. I want to preface this conversation by stating that this is a safe space and that our conversation today is based on mutual respect, openness, and understanding. So please feel free to comment once again on whatever platform that you're on, and we'll bring you into the conversation. Je tiens à préciser que nous sommes dans un contexte sécuritaire et que la conversation d'aujourd'hui se doit d'être imprégnante de respect mutuel, d'ouverture et de compréhension. Joignez-vous à la conversation par soumettre un commentaire à partir de la plateforme sur laquelle que vous êtes. February marks Black History Month. And I reached out to the community a few weeks ago to have the community share some of their stories and to share their heritage with us. I didn't get any responses. So this past week, I had the honor of meeting the Honorable Jean Augustine, who served 4 consecutive terms from 1996 to 2006 in the Parliament of Canada. I plan to read up on a book she recommended earlier this week, The Hanging of Angelique. The Hanging of Angelique tells the story of slavery in Canada, most specifically, but not exclusively, that of French Canada. Its central narrative is that of the slave woman Angelique, who was accused of and executed for starting a fire in 1730s Montreal that burned down a large portion of the old city. I have also changed my profile picture on Facebook with the hashtag BHM2020 frame provided by Heritage Canada. If you want to tell your story and have a chat with me for any reason at this coming month, you can contact me at andre@diversitycapital.tv, and it'll be my pleasure to bring you on. So, here's a video that was shared by Dr. Augustine featuring some amazing Canadians. So, as I have 50 million things to do, right, well, if we missed Canada Day this year, that video certainly encaptures a lot of amazing Canadians that we've got going on. And if you missed, because we are on blasttheradio.com, the song that I just played was called Hymn to Freedom in recognition of Canadian Black History. So go on to YouTube and find that. It's an amazing, amazing video showing a lot of great Canadians. Speaking of blasttheradio.com, we got the one and only John, the Milkman Milky here, and I'm so glad to be on Blast the Radio. John, thank you so much. My sister, bonsoir, sister love. Oh, Michel Belair, comment ça va? And we've got a comment from Andy here. I had the pleasure of dealing with Jean Augustine when she traveled through the Ottawa airport. Today's politicians would do well to take a page from her books. Always polite, cordial, and respectful as always. So I got to do a Zoom event with her this week for work, and she was amazing. She was actually funny because the translator didn't want to put her name, and so Dr. Augustine was like, no, you need to own your name. Like, own your name and put it up there. Show the world who you are. And she actually convinced her to do it. So she is a great icon, and I appreciate her very much. All right, well, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to do a couple of things here because I want to be able to see my guests, everything in properly, but I was sharing two screens, so now I don't have to anymore. So let's get on with it. So, computer 2. All right, let's bring on the guests. I'm an nos invité, and we're going to push play on the teleprompter. My first guest is Chris Fry. Chris Fry has served as the social media manager for the Lookout Bar and Nightclub since November 2019 and is the Faces Magazine 2021 winner for Best Social Media. In addition to this role, folks in the community may recognize him for either from his tenure at the Buzz Kitchen and Cocktails for 9 years, a restaurant on Bank that closed a few short years ago in the heart of the gay village just off of Bank Street, and as a board member, of the board of directors for the 10 Oaks Project. He's a federal public servant by day, and Chris is most passionate about the community, relationship building, queer culture, and creating inclusive spaces. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chris Fry.
Hi, Andre, and hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
How are you?
I'm pretty good for a pandemic, I have to say. It's pretty much, I think, all that most of us can be hoping for these days.
Yes. So, just like me, you're going nuts being stuck in the house, right?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, this is it's a difficult time to be an extrovert. For people, this is, introverts are living their best lives, and I'm so happy for you all that the tables have turned. But especially when you're the type of person, when you're a people person, and when you sort of thrive off of the energy and interaction with others. Yeah. I don't know about the rest of you, but I've been finding that this latest sort of little wave of measures has been a little bit tougher to navigate than some of the others. And I think winter doesn't help.
It doesn't, because we can't be outside either, right? Like, well, I mean, you can, but who wants to freeze their you-know-what's off? Like, come on now.
Yeah, well, at least the canal is open now.
Yeah, so that was another thing. I see a post from the NCC. They're like, oh, look at this beautiful canal. And I'm like, but you said we're not allowed on it if we don't live there.
Well, I think they asked if you don't live necessarily in the area that you not travel to come and use it. But I don't know if everyone's been listening to that.
And here's a little 411. They will not enforce it from what I've seen on social media.
Fair enough. That's how you...
We've got Lillian from Angelic Empowerment here, and my sister, Mario Cugliata. Hello, my darling. Well, this is amazing. Hello, Chrissy from Twitch, one of our Blast the Radio loving people that watch and listen every day. All right, my second guest is... push play on the teleprompter again. My second guest is Jace Baart from Microgreens Ottawa, a small, non-traditional urban farm specializing in the growth of microgreens. Eastern Ontario's only microgreens specialty store and grow warehouse on Heron Road just off of Bank Street. Their vertical indoor farm maintains a perfect growing environment for producing the healthiest microgreens available. They will harvest your greens while you wait, and it features a cancer-fighting broccoli that I've been using for the last 2 weeks now. Just to sprinkle on each meal and you're good to go. Jace Baart, how are you this evening, monsieur?
Good evening, Andre. Hi, Chris. How you guys doing?
Doing very well. I see you've got a whole bunch of greenery behind you.
There's a lot of greenery in the room. Yes, sir.
So we'll get into more details later, but do you want to jump off the edge and tell us about the cancer-fighting broccoli?
Okay. Broccoli microgreens is one of these crazy little things. It has 40 times the nutrition by weight than the full-size broccoli. So when you buy a flat of broccoli microgreens, we're talking 20 inches by 10 inch flat. You're talking about a pound and a bit of well, say 450 grams of microgreens. And it has the nutritional equivalent of about 27 to 29 pounds of broccoli, of full-size broccoli. And you'd never eat that in a week, but you could certainly munch down on a flat of microgreens every week. And we have a lot of clients that do exactly that.
So, like when we went to visit you, you gave us little testers of different ones, then you can actually test and see which ones you'd like, right?
Well, everybody has slightly different tastes. I mean, some people really like broccoli. Some people like a little hotter flavor, like a mustard or a radish.
Yes.
So we've got 47 varieties of microgreens for people to try, and they can sample some right here at the shop and take home whatever they'd like.
Yes, and I remember the mustard one was very spicy. Like it had a little kick to it, which would be really good on burgers, I have a feeling.
Absolutely fantastic on burgers. Chicken burgers are perfect.
Mario's saying hello to you. I don't know if you remember Mario Cugliata.
Absolutely. Mario's an old friend. He and I go way back.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. And Madge is saying that she might need to drive down here to come and get some broccoli greens for us and for a skate. And you can bring my shirt, girl, while you're at it instead of sending it through the mail.
Miss Madge, I want to let you know you have an open invitation. Come on to the shop. We'd love to have you.
Yes, I'll put like some plastic all around you, and I'll put you in my spare room for the night. Only when we're allowed to have people. Then you can at least stay somewhere nice. All right. Well, let's get into some questions, gentlemen. We are doing pretty good. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. So, Jace, you already told us a little bit about your vertical indoor farming and why it's important to source some fresh microgreens. Do you want to tell us a little more about that?
Well, when you think back, our parents and grandparents would have had fresh greens out of the gardens.
Mm-hmm.
There were no chemical additives. There was no chemical fertilizers. It was good, clean food. And the food that we have today has been grown to maximize the quantity, not necessarily the quality and the nutrition. Microgreens gives an answer to that. It's not the only answer, but it certainly is one of the answers. It gives people an opportunity to get fresh, local greens 365 days a year without a huge carbon footprint. And that's why we're doing this.
And we're going to talk a little bit later because you've got delivery services too, right?
We do.
That's great. So you don't even have to leave your house. You can get it all just right here.
We'll do it all for you.
Wow. Chris, what is your connection to the Lookout and how did you become the social media manager?
Well, when I first moved to Ottawa in 2009, which is hard to believe now that was 12 years ago.
Where'd you move from?
I'm originally from Mount Pearl, Newfoundland in Labrador.
Ooh!
So.
All right.
Yeah, so it was a big move, but I started working for Kelly Brandt and Sue Plowman, who are the owners of the Lookout, and they were also the owners of the Buzz Kitchen and Cocktails on Bank Street, as we mentioned.
Where I got married. Where I got married.
Did you get married at the Buzz?
I did.
Wow.
I'm also divorced, so don't be so happy.
Oh. right, well, I won't feel too badly about it then. So I started working at first at the Lookout, actually, and I bartended there for a couple of years. And then I also started doing some serving and bartending at the Buzz, which is where I wound up spending the majority of my time, especially as a student. I was finding sort of the later evenings at the bar to be a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
But part of my duties at one point at the Buzz were to operate the social media pages. And I was there right up until the end when it was sold and it closed in November of 2018.
Okay.
So when the Lookout's position became available, Kelly approached me and asked if I would be interested in taking it on because we had a pre-existing relationship. And I said no at first. I said no because I didn't know anything about drag, Andre. I had seen maybe 2 episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race kind of in passing.
Do you watch it now?
Oh, I do now. I have to.
See, so I'm still the only gay in the village that doesn't watch it. I'm very glad.
The only things that I knew were that season 1 didn't happen. We don't talk about season 1. That Manila Luzon was robbed, and that Brooklyn Heights was Canadian. Aside from that, I was pretty well clueless.
Okay.
And I kind of thought that maybe they would want somebody who had that background and who knew all of the local queens and who knew drag a lot better than I did. But as it turned out, it was kind of pitched to me in a way that it's something that I could learn and something that I could get into. And I did start watching Drag Race, and it's frankly gotten me through a lot of the pandemic blah because it's such a happy show and it's so lively and fun and drag in general is something that brings a lot of joy to people. And so I'm really happy that I stepped outside of my comfort zone and I said yes. I've met some really great people. And I've really, really enjoyed it. And I hope at least that's reflected in the products that we put out.
Well, I mean, I guess it worked because you won Faces Magazine Best Social Media.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a very interesting year to be responsible for the social media pages for a drag bar and nightclub. But I guess.
Well, I mean, they have other things that happen there too. They would have, they had karaoke. They had, they would show the RuPaul every week as well. So.
Yeah, no, there's lots of programming and there's lots of things to take part in and to as a gathering place for the community. And in fact, we're very thankful. You mentioned the Faces Awards. I was the winner for the social media manager, but we were also the winner of Best Nightclub. And Julie Beaulieu, whose birthday is today, happy birthday, Julie!
Happy birthday, Julie!
She was the winner of Best Bartender. So it was really great that we had that community support, and it was really reflected in how the voting turned out.
Well, we got a quadruple whammy because now you're on the favorite radio station, blasttheradio.com, one favorite radio station. So.
Hey, there you go.
So we got lots of big ones tonight. We got, actually, Sue's watching. Sue, it does work. He's been amazing for the Lookout. Thank you, Sue, for being here. And Madge is saying, great drag shows at the Lookout. Bonsoir, Luca. Ça fait longtemps que je t'ai pas vu. And Chrissy is talking to Jace. She can't wait to try the dill and cilantro. She's in love with the Oriental mustard. Well, now. And Chrissy is saying the future BTR get together in future at the Lookout. You never know. We could have a little party at some point. You never know. So, Jace, can you tell us the difference between certified naturally grown versus certified organic?
That's a great question. When we were looking at different types of certifications, we looked at getting a full certified organic program, and we found that there were things that we really didn't need with an indoor grow room, and there were things that were certified organic is, I would say, even a step below what we do. Certified organic allows for the use of pesticides and herbicides if they're required, not as a standard procedure, but if there's a problem. With certified naturally grown, you have to use organic methods, you have to use organic seed. Everything is like certified organic, except that there's no type of remediation available. So it really is natural food.
So is earth considered organic?
specific types. So we buy
Okay.
organic soil as well.
Alright.
The nice thing about certified naturally grown is that it doesn't have the high cost associated with becoming certified organic. You get inspected by another grower, and it's kind of a grassroots organization. So it's pretty cool, and we're a big fan of it.
So Mario's asking if you deliver to Gatineau.
Mary, I'm not going to deliver to Gatineau, but he has a standing invitation.
He has 2 cars, so I know he can get there.
I don't feel bad for him at all.
And you can pick some up for Eva while you're there. Now, John's all happy because there's winners everywhere. So yes, they actually, Jesse and Jenna also won for Best Podcast. So it's really great, and congratulations to all the winners across Canada and, well, across Ottawa for the Faces magazine. That's great. It's great. Chris, what would you say is the biggest difference that your particular style or approach brought to the Lookout pages?
I would say that for myself, it was sort of more about bringing the spotlight to the actual individual people that represent the Lookout community.
So you brought up that look out for each other thing.
Yeah, so that, for example, one of my first orders of business when I kind of took on the role was we launched what was called Look Out for Each Other, which was a weekly campaign where we posted sort of a profile on someone from within the Lookout sort of community, whether that was a customer or a drag performer or an employee, just sort of bringing some more emphasis to the individual people that represent the mosaic that makes up the establishment.
Okay.
Obviously, still having very much a focus on sort of the actual substance of the programming and the offerings of the bar, whether that's drag shows or karaoke or even just gathering for beverages on the weekends or on Sundays, this sort of thing. But at the same time, kind of trying to bring a little bit more attention and spotlight to, I mean, it's the people that make any establishment really what it is, especially when you've been in the community for what's now 24 years. And,
Yes.
when you become sort of that sort of pillar of the community, then it's a place where you're going to have a lot of familiar faces, and you're going to have a lot of interesting stories, and people have different backgrounds or reasons why they sort of connect with the Lookout, and that was something that I really wanted to showcase and highlight.
And I mean, they've renovated throughout the years, so they got rid of that kitchen. I remember being with Theo Tams after his concert a couple of months ago, just before the lockdown, and partying it up in the VIP section. Like, it's a really awesome place. Always very popular and very busy.
Yeah. No, there's the VIP section used to be a toaster and an oven and a few other things. So, the renovations have been really, really nice. They've really brought some new life to the space. And in fact, just this evening, I was putting together, it's also Isis Couture's birthday today.
I know. We're going to throw that to her at 8 o'clock
birthday.
to hopefully get everybody to Isis's Instagram page to watch the show after.
Yeah, she's doing a live tonight for in honor of her birthday, since it unfortunately can't be in the bar.
Yeah.
But I was going through some old videos and things, putting together a little small sort of happy birthday compilation, and the back wall behind where the performers are has changed so much over the years. It was kind of this shiny metallic at one point, and then go back even further, and I think it was sort of like this mustard yellow, whereas now it's like this really clean black with the logo, and it looks really nice. And
the stage, you mean? Yes.
But behind what the drag performers are.
Because I'm sitting here in the VIP, and I'm like, no, there was a big poster with all the queens on it, but that was I can't remember what that promo was for. But anyways, so
Absolute Vodka, I believe.
So now that I know that your bosses are listening, this show is on 4 platforms now. So it's on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and it's on the blasttheradio.com Twitch feed, and it's also on the radio. So I also have a DJ set and on the radio on Sundays as well. So send me some commercials if you all want them played. I don't charge anyone to put any of these commercials on, so I've been asking the community, get to making a video for me. I would appreciate that, so we can actually show the community who you guys are. All right, another question, and then we're going to do a couple of commercials just to show you exactly what we do. Jace, can you tell us about the 47 varieties and growing that you have at Microgreens?
A lot of microgreens producers tend to focus on the top 5, 6, maybe even 10 microgreen varieties. The most popular ones are the ones that you see at the farmers markets usually. They include broccoli, mustard, sunflower, peas, maybe kale, things like that. We felt it would be beneficial to have a much larger variety. We have a lot of restaurant clients and they like to see different things. So we do things like celery and parsley and carrots and chervil and 6 kinds of basil. It gives a depth of product so that our customers can always find something that's either going to give the look that they'd like or a flavor profile that they want, and it appeals to a much larger base. So that's the reason.
So when you talk, so when you're talking about these carrots and everything else, they all kind of look like this, right? They don't actually look like carrots. It's just the taste of a carrot.
So the carrots don't look like you're showing a picture of the broccoli. The carrots tend to look like the little green tops that you would find on carrots. So you're actually eating the greens of it. That's right.
Okay.
The neat thing is that all of these plants, the stems taste the same as the rest of the vegetable. So when you're eating carrot greens, they taste like carrots. When you're eating radish greens, they taste like radishes. So the flavor is in the entire plant. And so the green portion, we tend to, like carrots, people don't usually eat carrot greens, but as a microgreen, it's tender, it's sweet, it looks really cool, it adds a really interesting flavor, and it's got loads and loads of nutrients.
So Julie's asking if you could juice them like a wheatgrass, right? You can put them in a blender, you can mix them all up.
Absolutely. We do grow wheatgrass. We grow, like I said, 47 different varieties. Some people like to do juicing, some people don't. I would say that the one hesitation that we recommend people with juicing is not to use the food processor style juicers. They tend to heat up the greens and it kills some of the nutrients in that heating process. Yeah.
So you gave me some of the cat grass to try out, and my children love it. Like I chopped it all up and put it into a little bowl, and yeah, they loved the little cat grass. It was
fantastic. Really we have one of our clients has a little dog, a King Charles Spaniel, and Charlie goes absolutely crazy for wheatgrass. She literally goes ballistic. Yeah, and it's good for her. I mean, she's got some indigestion issues, and that's why her owner feeds her the wheatgrass. And Charlie is a regular client.
I wish I could have that reaction to wheatgrass.
What don't you like about wheatgrass, Chris?
It's probably just a lack of exposure.
Okay, because a lot of people tend to try wheatgrass at one of these popular smoothie locations.
Yes, that's exactly my background. Yes.
Okay, so when you get it from one of these commercial operations, you're usually getting wheatgrass that is past its tender stage, and it tends to taste somewhat bitter. If you come into the shop and we give you wheatgrass that's like 6 or 7 days old, it's still very sweet. It almost tastes like corn, and it's a whole lot better than the stuff that you're going to get at one of these commercial places.
I had no idea.
And once again, your microgreens have a shelf life of how long?
Well, that's a good question. If you took an entire flat and put it in the fridge, it would be good for 3 weeks. Once it's harvested, I would say average lifespan is 2 weeks. If you think about the vegetables that you would normally buy at the grocery store, they've come, in the wintertime at least, from Costa Rica or California or points even further. So they've usually spent a week traveling to get to the store that you're buying it from. So then those groceries, the vegetables last another week in your fridge. So by coming here and getting freshly harvested greens, we'll literally harvest it while you wait, as you said at the very beginning. You take it home, it's good for another 2 weeks, easy.
So I love that commercial that John made too, because microgreens are such a great way to sneak the goodness of vegetables onto the plates of the fussiest kids, which is true.
It is true, but I found that a lot of little kids, they like microgreens. It's different.
It does have a good taste, and it has a different taste as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm a fussy, eater too, but I like them. I really do like them, and I'll find out how good it's doing because I had blood work done this morning, so we'll see how that goes.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, and Andy's looking forward to his next visit to Microgreens and trying another variety pack. Stephanie and I enjoyed our first batch. Not true, it won't last 2 weeks. You finish it way before that. So. Well, like, if you put it on everything but cereal, it'll work. It's good. You can just sneak it on whatever meal you want, and it gives you that little bit of goodness that you actually need, right?
Yeah. I can't guarantee that it will last 2 weeks in the fridge because you're eating it all, but it would certainly last if you didn't eat it. I don't know why you wouldn't, but hey. Andy and Stephanie stopped in the other day and got a variety pack, and Andy was actually wearing the same face mask from Ms. Imagine that I was, so a Blasta Radio face mask, and it was the identical one. So it was cool.
Twinsies.
Yeah, exactly.
Twinsies. I love those masks. Well, especially when the Masked Singer was on, and I saw that I am not the Masked Singer. I had to have that one, so I do have that one because cool. I am not the Masked Singer. Chris, what have been some of the challenges of managing the social media pages for the business during the COVID-19 crisis?
Well, I mean, like most people have experienced, I think, particularly at this point, it's been a bit of a challenge at times to really sort of keep track of all of the changes and to try and communicate that to all of the customers as effectively as you can.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Lookout has taken COVID-19 precautions quite seriously from the very beginning. Mm-hmm. In addition to the pre-existing cleaning protocols, there's additional measures like registration of clients for contact tracing. You can purchase tickets to drag shows online in advance now to guarantee your spot and to not have to carry cash. There's all kinds of requirements for mask wearing and all these other sorts of things, but it can be a challenge sometimes to communicate those initiatives to clients in a way that's kind of accessible and keeping up with the changes as they happen. So that's definitely been probably one of the biggest changes, or the biggest challenges, I should say, with the hours of operation changing depending on what the provincial guidelines are on operating a small business. And when we had our patio space in the summertime, communicating whether or not shows were happening because of weather and all sorts of things. So it's definitely been an evolving task and an evolving challenge.
Yeah.
I think everybody's kind of doing their best to stay on top of what's happening right now. Like even I, for example, today, I went to go to a store and I'm going, can I even go?
Yeah.
Is it open? Is it not open? Can I go in? Can I not go in? Like there's so much change and I understand that, public health recommendations are evolving as we learn more about the virus and this sort of thing. But
the variants.
And the variants now, that are the new wild cards that they've thrown in there. But from a business perspective, it's definitely been very, very challenging. I mean, Jace, have you had any impacts on your business as a result?
Oh, it's almost gutted us. It's been very, very tough. We're considered an essential service, so we haven't had to close. Mm-hmm. But again, 90% of our business was to restaurants. So when the restaurant shut down, I mean, we were just kind of left hanging. We're pivoting now to a more retail focused process, and that's why we brought in the home delivery as well, and that is working. It's catching on, but it's not something that happens overnight. So we're working at it slowly, and fingers crossed.
So that's something I noticed a couple of, I remember where I was reading it, Jace, but somebody was asking for something specific that you had, but you don't carry it because you only carry it when the restaurants need it, and it was a minimum order of $250 or something like that.
Oh, okay. So that was in relation to a question about mint. Now, lots of people have mint growing in the backyard, but to actually plant mint seed and have it grow is a little tougher. And so it usually takes about 3 months to grow a flat of mint. And the seed is very expensive. It comes out of the States. We have to pay for the shipping and duty, and there's a minimum order amount of seed to get. So it's one of those things. I'm not going to plant 6 flats of mint and hope that they sell, because it just wouldn't be beneficial to the business.
Yeah,
so,
because you need somebody to make a whole bunch of mojitos, which
and that's a lot of mojitos.
Can mojitos be delivered? Really? Like, I think that whoever wants to do that, I'll sign up for that right away.
Well, restaurants are allowed to serve drinks, right? They're allowed to include drinks, so maybe the mojito is, but I haven't had any call for it yet. So we'll see. Maybe this will help.
Well, maybe this will help. Hopefully it will. Well, we got to pay some bills, so I'm going to play some commercials. I'm just kidding. I don't have any sponsors yet. But if you or your business want to sponsor or be a sponsor on the show, please send me an email, andre@diversitycapital.tv. And here are a couple of sponsors for now to give you an idea on what we're looking for.
Gatineau.tv est partout en Outaouais, autant au niveau de la culture, de l'événementiel, mais aussi au niveau de vos entreprises. Si vous avez un projet spécial que vous aimeriez promouvoir, un événement que vous avez créé, eh bien, n'hésitez pas à parler avec un de nos représentants à Gatineau.tv. Vous pouvez nous écrire via notre adresse info@commercialgatineau.tv. Vous aussi, prenez avantage de Gatineau.tv.
Gatineau.tv.
Have you heard the tea? I finally have a face for radio. That's right, DITC Social is proud to be joining the blasttheradio.com family. As of January 6th, 2021, you can now ask your smart speaker to play Blast the Radio and DITC Social, a show from diversitycapital.tv. It'll be streaming live on BTR as well as our usual social media stations of Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, with various guests each week. There's great talent, great talk, great tunes. Take care of each other, Ottawa Gatineau, and we'll see you Wednesday nights at 7 p.m.
Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Theo Tams and you are watching DiversityInTheCapital.tv.
Greetings, Ottawa, Canada. This is Chad Michaels from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Hi, Ottawa and Gatineau. I'm Carol Pope, and you're watching Diversity in the Capital.
Hello, Ottawa. It's your girl, Sofonda.
Hey, it's Eva Avila.
Hi, I'm Ria May, and you're watching DiversityInTheCapital.tv.
That poor girl, baby. Tone. All right, hey. So what's that?
I've got a question for Chris.
Yeah, go for it.
I've never been to any type of drag show. Mm-hmm. I'd be really interested to see one. And I mean, our good friend John Milkey, I hear he's actually dressed up. So I'm curious. Anyway, I think it'd be a whole lot of fun to watch.
For sure, yeah. Well, I mean, under normal circumstances, not pandemic circumstances, there's lots of opportunities to see a show. And in fact, I would kind of argue, ironically, that if you're looking to come and experience a drag show, right now during sort of like the precautions of COVID, is probably among the best times to do it because everybody's seated. It's table service only. Normally, I mean, everyone would be sort of crowded around the stage, and it can be a little bit of a challenge to get a good vantage point. Although you look like you're a pretty tall guy, standing there with your your green racks. But you have a clear view of the stage, and there's a couple of really great performers that are scheduled every week. So, I mean, obviously, when things are in full swing, it's still a super fun experience to be immersed in. It's just so lively and entertaining, and they're funny, and the costumes and makeup. It really is an experience, and especially as RuPaul's Drag Race has really kind of brought drag into the mainstream of popular culture. It's becoming more and more commonplace for, it's no longer just for the LGBTQ2 community.
Oh, no.
It's something that's now accessible to everyone, which is
wonderful. This is on every...
It's so much fun.
And this is on every week?
Yes. Yeah. Well,
So
there's
cool.
regularly scheduled shows every Friday and Saturday for sure. Okay. And then there's other days of the week. Thursdays have had a sort of a revolving itinerary. There's also pop-up shows and open stage when time allows. So lots of opportunities, Jace.
I noticed you were doing a couple of shows in a tent when half of that street was closed up too. So I know I miss doing my shows. I can't wait to get into my monthly show that I had at another venue, which I really, really miss. But with going through chemo and everything, I had to stop it for a while. So yeah, I miss doing drag a lot.
So does Miss Horizon show up there, Andre?
Every once in a while. I used to have a Sunday show at the Lookout many, many years ago. But I have other places that I do it, and I haven't been there in a while, actually. Except for when Theo was here. I think it was the last time I was at the Lookout. But we've got Madge. Sue is actually saying she'll take a picture of that mojito that we were talking about. Lillian was asking where you're located. So Bank and
Heron. We're just
Heron,
west of Bank Street on Heron Road.
Yeah, remember where Bun's Master Bakery used to be, which I remember that growing up.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, down the street. Madge was saying, glad you like the BTR face masks, folks. Andre, your new BTR shirt and Tempo Toque are on the way. I don't know what Tempo Toque is. I've got another toque here that I'm trying to give away. That I keep forgetting to give that away.
I need to speak to Ms. Madge about doing some logos and swag stuff for Microgreens Ottawa.
You all need to get in line because I'm waiting for some DITC social swag, but it's all good. I'll let you jump ahead because I'm still waiting for my new website. So I would rather wait for my website, which I'm having another community member do too. So I'm buying local as well. Karen Kelly, wait, I'm losing some of these comments here. Everyone is always welcome and have a great time. At the Lookout. She's talking about the Lookout. Lillian is saying, I'm straight and I always have love popping in. Andre Amprou and a few shows there. Colleen Murdoch, Miss Microgreens Ottawa wants to go too. Mario can join us.
Fantastic.
Colleen's your wife, I'm assuming, Jace?
That is correct, and she and Mario have been friends for a long time as well. Mario used to work at her bank, and that's how we met Mario way back in the day. And that guy, he's a scream. I love hanging around with him.
Yes, I knew he was gay before he did, but that's all. That's another story. That's another story. And Badge has got your swag covered. Jace, Mario will take your wife and you to a show. So
there you go.
Once the Lookout is open,
have an escort,
we should have a big Ottawa Faces party once we're allowed to have a huge friggin' party. Because
I'm in.
Oh my God.
Colleen's in too. We'll go.
I can't wait to get blind drunk where I don't remember a damn thing the next day.
There was a question from Lillian Carrier asking if we were open. We're not right now. No. At the present time, it's closed, but we're kind of watching and waiting for the next set of guidelines to come out, and we'll be ready to reopen as safely as possible at that time. So you can follow us on social media to find out when that'll be.
And find out when it'll be open. So Jace John is saying, oh, Jace, honey, Miss Dairy Queen will be popping by your store soon then.
I'm looking forward to that. Now, hopefully Miss Dairy Queen is going to be wearing a bra because I heard there was some, like, technicalities or something.
So Dairy Queen is my daughter now because she hadn't been put in drag in a long time.
All right.
And John came to perform for my Community Pride Day that I did during Capital Pride Week here in Ottawa. So I had set up my entire garage on this big stage with lights and smoke machine and all that, and I put him up in the studio and I put him up in drag and put the nails on him, and then he did a FaceTime with his family after, and that was hilarious to see his mother's face. Like,
no doubt.
John, maybe you should call us back later.
I love drag names. Drag names are so interesting to me. Like, I think my favorite one, there's a drag queen in Australia named Karen from Finance.
Which
I
one?
love it. Karen from Finance is her drag name.
Karen from Finance, yes.
That's perfect.
So stay tuned. She'll probably be on the RuPaul's Australian one that they're going to start filming now.
Oh yes, well RuPaul Canada is Canada's Drag Race. They're about to start filming that again too. So it's coming.
They're casting now for the second season, which is great because it's awesome exposure for Canadian drag artists.
I hope
hopefully we'll get someone from Ottawa on this time.
I know. Well, I love
Rain,
Toronto pieces, but I hope that there's more from across the country. I mean, I'm sure there's some in Newfoundland. Come on now.
There are.
Yeah. There is. Jace,
I'm afraid to think about it.
We got a couple more questions here. Jace, do you want to tell us about your free delivery program and your new variety packs?
All right. The variety packs are 4 and 5 different selections in each pack, and the customers can choose which ones they want in it. So we don't decide for them. They can literally say, I'd like to have sunflower, I'd like to have radish, I'd like to have broccoli and kale and maybe arugula. And we'll put that in a package. We're doing delivery in the city. We've started doing a Friday drop in Canada. We're going to be doing a Wednesday drop in the Orleans area for people that are further out and they'd like to meet us there. Other than that, we take care of free delivery in the city. We're not going to deliver to Mario and Gatineau, but he does have a standing invitation.
Yes. So here's another question. What is your website? Because I'm assuming you would have every single product there that people can choose from.
The website is microgreens.ottawa.ca and microgreens.ottawa.com, of course. We don't have all the different selections up. Well, I do have it posted on there, but it may be a little bit difficult to find. What I suggest to people is come in, have a visit. We're open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
You can taste some of the different varieties. We'll give you a price list that'll show you all the different varieties that we carry and that we can certainly custom grow for individuals as well.
Well, and yes, I highly recommend it. So we got lots of people commenting here. This is the best show ever for comments. Karen from Finance is the best name ever from John.
Right.
Chichi Rodriguez, which is Mario, might come out soon. I haven't seen her in a while. As long as she shaves her face to do the show.
Is that a prerequisite?
Well, he's done Sia so many times he didn't want to shave his beard, so
it helps with the illusion, Jace, when you shave.
Yeah,
I told John when he visited the shop that I actually went out one Halloween as a French maid, but I had a full beard at the time, and I wore fishnets, but didn't shave my legs, so it was pretty gross.
Why do you think a pretty penny doing that?
I did win third place.
Yeah. Imagine that is saying that we have Janice from accounting here in Peterborough.
Janice from accounting.
Janice from accounting. So Orleans is not bad now, living in Rockland for the moment. People from Rockland can meet you in Orleans, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we actually have a restaurant client almost all the way out there in Cumberland, a place called Maker Feed Company.
Wow. So John is also saying that you designed your entire system, including the movable racks, lighting, and everything.
I did. We were trying to make the space as profitable, I guess is the right word. We wanted to maximize the use of the space.
Yes.
And so all of our racks are rolling racks so that we don't have a lot of space taken up by useless aisleways. Like we could just move everything around and make use of it as we want. So within an 890 square foot shop, we can produce over 300 flats a week without any stress whatsoever.
Madge.
What's she saying?
This chat is very distracting when you're trying to read things. And now I lost my train of thought. Thanks a lot, Madge. Y'all can fight over this honorary drag name, Oshida Pandemic.
Oshida Pandemic.
Oshida
I think that's
Pandemic.
awesome. I'll volunteer.
Jace, it's all yours.
Madge, if Madge is coming to Ottawa to do me up, I will be Oshida Pandemic.
I'm not going to fight.
Well, Andre is closer, and that could happen. You never know.
Okay.
I might be colorblind, but I know how to slap makeup on you and use a shovel.
You're going to need a pretty big trowel for this face.
Well, no. It's the same makeup for everybody, darling.
Well, this past season on they had a RuPaul's Secret Celebrity Drag Race or something to that effect, and you know the big guy that hosts American Ninja Warrior?
Oh yes.
They put him in drag, and it was amazing. Ninja Warrior. Yeah, and it was amazing. So Jason,
and he pulled it off.
They can do it with you. Yeah,
of course.
Okay, well,
yeah.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Let's do it. Are we going to raise some money?
I mean, pulled it off. Sure. Let's go with that.
All right. Well, if we're going to raise money, then we're going to do the whole 9 yards. We're going to tape his head back so we can get the good arch on the eyebrows. We're going to give you the full meal deal.
Very important.
I'm just kidding, because you'd be in a lot of torture after that.
Prior to this year, I'd never seen anybody take a glue stick to their eyebrows before. So you learn all kinds of things pretty fast.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
funny.
a lot of work, Jace.
It's funny when you're...
work.
Well, John was describing it, and it did sound like an awful lot of work.
It's when you're in a craft store and you're like, do you have the glue stick that's purple? And they just look at you sideways and like, it's for my eyebrows. Leave me alone.
You think I woke up like this? No.
Exactly. Yeah, hello. These aren't real.
Are we going to be able to find pantyhose in a triple XL? Like, is this going to work?
No. Well, if it's a virtual show, we can just do from the waist up like a Zoom call or something.
Okay.
That's probably for the best. That way, Jace, you don't have to tuck.
Exactly. Well,
wait, what?
Somebody else is saying tuck.
Google it.
Yeah.
Oh, you see, there's things about this I really hadn't considered.
So the reason why drag queens smile so much is because they take their thing and they push it all the way back.
Wait a second.
And now we probably have a lot of people on the radio doing the dog thing.
And I'm
going,
thinking, so maybe not.
You had to be real comfortable, Jason.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we can get your wife to do that for you. So they're all good there.
Okay.
Chris, what role do you think social media plays in keeping folks connected with their community, especially during something like the lockdown?
Well, I mean, for example, this right here is a shining example of how our community is watching us antagonize this poor straight man about tucking. I mean, it's
and I'm not even drunk yet. It would get better if I was.
We're totally sober. It's social media. It really does sort of represent a window into a community that we can't physically necessarily access right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember that for a lot of folks, staying home doesn't necessarily mean staying safe. Like there's people that benefit from having exposure to people that are from the same community and that feeling of togetherness and again, sort of like coming back to my earlier comments about sort of extroverts and introverts, there are some people who they really need to have that sort of connection with people to really feel centered and to feel like themselves. Right. And so for a lot of the content and things that we've produced during times when the bar is not open, it's having to do with the community basis of the Lookout and sort of, little funny memes and just sort of things that can bring everybody together to either have a little laugh or to feel sort of that longing to be back together again and just sort of trying to make sure that everybody can still be looking forward to something, like something that's on the horizon, the next opportunity to be all together and see an amazing drag show or, do some shots as Andre, everyone who's commenting is, that's often a prominent part of their memories with you at the Lookout, it seems. But,
yes,
it's an opportunity to keep people connected in some way. I mean, at one point we turned some of the drag queens into public health memes. You know, stay 6 feet apart. That's, you know, approximately the width of one Isis Couture hat. Like this, like weird little things that just kind of give people a rallying point and something to connect with.
Wow. Well, I certainly missed a lookout, and I can't wait to get back there again.
Yeah,
So quickly, Jace, do you want to talk about the concentrations of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and micronutrients in microgreens?
Like I said, broccoli is probably the king with 40 times the nutrition by weight. Okay. But I mean, all of the vegetables and everything that we grow has a lot of nutrients in them. There's, like I said, antioxidants, micronutrients, phytochemicals that people just don't normally consider. But this is natural food. This is a natural way to boost your immune system. Yeah. It's healthy, it's tasty, it's fun. The kids are going to enjoy it. It really is something.
Chris, your last question, your biggest surprise of the year for you in this position?
Well, for myself personally, I think the biggest surprise for me was kind of discovering just how far drag and drag culture have kind of worked their way into everyday pop culture, mainstream pop culture. Okay. I mean, even when I was working bartending at the Lookout in 2009 and 2010-ish, I mean, there were drag shows, but it wasn't anywhere near sort of what it's like now in terms of demand and in terms of popularity and even in terms of, you know, you see it when you start watching RuPaul's Drag Race in the earlier seasons and then you compare it to the later seasons. Yeah. You know, the explosion of popularity has required everybody to up their game, and everybody's had to improve and constantly evolve. And that was really kind of an eye opener for me, because as I mentioned, I was kind of like I wasn't really exposed to much of the drag world prior to this position.
But so that's mainly what you were promoting, though. So you had to learn fast. Right.
Exactly, and you know, it's easy. The local performers, they were really easy to work with and to learn from. And
oh, you just said they were easy. I knew it. I'm kidding. I love all the girls. I love them all. Several of them have been here.
It's easy to. They've been easy to work with, and they've been patient with me in terms of bringing me up to speed. And I've been really thankful for that. But beyond that, I would say the other surprise would be. And it's a pleasant surprise in the sense that a lot of people have been reaching out and been very supportive of the establishment and of sort of the whole premise of supporting local business. There are a lot of people that I felt through their messages and comments and things, a measure of anxiety. They really wanted to make sure that the bar kind of made it through to see the other side. And so I just wanted to say to anybody that reached out or messaged or shared our content and any sort of support that's been lent to the Lookout during this whole situation, please know that we really, really appreciate it. We've really been feeling sort of that love at times when, you know, as a business, spirits are kind of a little bit low, not being able to operate or operating at a reduced capacity. And we're really, really looking forward to getting back to sort of that full drink, dance, drag experience that the Lookout was famous for. And we're appreciative of everybody that's been along for the ride, and it's been a ride.
Thank you, gentlemen. I want to try and get everybody over to house.of.couture on Instagram to go see Miss Capital Pride's birthday show. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here tonight. I look forward to seeing what you both got going on social media. Final thoughts are support local LGBTQ2+ businesses. Most are all online, so please support your local commerce by going to their site and buying something to give to that special someone for the next official holiday. For all those romantics out there, February 11th, 14th is coming up. Spice up your life. Only you can do that. And I will be live on blasttheradio.com on February 14th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on BTR, playing some awesome music. Thank you for being here with me live from Finley Creek and from your homes. I wish you all lots of love and goodness during this time and look forward to seeing what you all have got going on through social media. Gentlemen, stick around for a virtual hug after the ending of the show. Next week, I will be talking to KJ, who has her own show here on BTR. with her Wine and Wing Wednesdays. As well as my Tupperware consultant Nathalie will be back to give us a couple of recipes. La semaine prochaine, je parlerai à KJ qui a son propre émission sur BTR avec les ailes de poulet et du vin qu'on va parler. Et aussi ma consultante Tupperware Nathalie sera présente. Please go to blasterradio.com and listen to the one and only Milkman every morning with the new Brouhaha show starting at 9 a.m. Also featuring a bigger, better boogie break at 10:30 to get your blood flowing. You can also catch Jesse and Jenna's Messy podcast and another Faces Magazine winner. As well as last Sunday, you can hear me in the afternoon on BTR with Capital Queer Tea Dance hosted by DJ Zimwawi. Take care of each other, Ottawa Gatineau, and we'll see you next week.